Yes, my people, as the halt, it don't happen. Oh, Tinubu's secret weapon for 2027 election, they don't expose them finally. Please, as you're watching this video, please kindly hit this like button, share, make everybody make them see so that we go know ahead, so that we will defeat Tinubu come 2027 presidential election.
Weaponized impunity leads to voter apathy. Do you know what else leads to voter apathy? Weaponized poverty. And with voter apathy, Tinubu continues in office beyond 2027. Why? Because voter apathy makes rigging easy and possible. So if we are going to take care of voter apathy, we must take care of weaponized impunity and weaponized poverty. So let us take care and focus on weaponized impunity in this video. What is weaponized impunity? What is impunity? Impunity is disrespect for the rule of law and due process. When you have a politician, a highly placed person in the society, disrespect, violate, and breaks the law in a way that tells you nothing you can do, go to court, that is impunity. And impunity left unchecked means what? Demoralized society. And when a society is demoralized, they will simply not come out. Take for example what happened in 2023. In the election between Peter Obi and others, there was disrespect for the rule of law, considering what Professor Mahmoud Yakubu did as INEC chairman. Remember the glitch? Remember the deliberate disenfranchisement of voters in their polling unit? They simply got there in the morning of that election and they were told their names were no longer in that polling unit. These are violations of the Electoral Act, violations of the Nigerian Constitution. But what happens to the violators? Nothing. Remember what happened at the collation centers, where you have INEC collation officials, as we have seen in several reports. INEC collation officers deliberately manipulating figures, which breaches and breaks Nigerian laws, forgery, abuse of power. So collation officers know the right figures, but they manipulate it so that a certain people win. Case in point, Rivers and across the length and breadth of Nigeria. But what happened to those that violated the Constitution, the Electoral Act, and even INEC guidelines? What happened to those INEC officials? Nothing. Is that not disrespect for the rule of law that we are calling impunity? So when you have impunity left unchecked, it becomes weaponized impunity. And what happens to the people when impunity has become weaponized? It simply means the people give up. This is why you see Nigerians saying today that Tinubu has already written 2027 elections. They are pushing this narrative very, very strongly because they know it is one way to weaponize impunity. Now Nigerians are saying, oh, there's no point in voting in 2027. So at the end of the day, what we have is lower voter turnout. Because even the 25 million people, the 30 million voters that used to come out to vote, they now get the impression that, oh, impunity is reigning supreme, there's nothing we can do, there's no point coming out in 2027. It is because of weaponized impunity, the impunity of Tinubu and his people, that has gone unchecked. That is why governors are decamping into the APC, because they have looked at it. With weaponized impunity, what INEC did in 2023, they will do it again, and they will still go scot-free, unchecked, unscathed. Weaponized impunity is very, very dangerous because it gives Tinubu his biggest secret weapon: voter apathy. Voter apathy makes regain simple and easy. Imagine that 94 million Nigerians that have registered and have their PVCs come out on election day. How easy will it be for politicians to buy votes? How easy? Considering that politicians, they just like to use a small portion of the monies they have looted to fund elections. How easy will it be for politicians to buy votes if Nigerians come out in their numbers? If we solve the problem of weaponized poverty and Nigerians see real alternatives to their poverty problem, and they see and experience and feel that their poverty is being alleviated in an organized manner, as Peter Obi puts it, will they be willing to sell their votes in 2027? They won't. More people will come out. Weaponized impunity must be taken care of. Fixing weaponized impunity is one of the ways we guarantee free and fair elections in 2027. If we don't solve the problem of weaponized impunity, and in addition to that solve the problem of weaponized poverty, what we will get is voter apathy. And that means a free ride for anybody that wants to rig election in 2027. This is why it is crucial. So how do we fix weaponized impunity? How do we de-weaponize impunity ahead of the 2027 elections? Law Patrol. Law Patrol helps us to de-weaponize impunity, because with Law Patrol, we all come together as Nigerians and we tackle those who have violated our electoral laws, and we take measures against them, such that what happened to that wreck in Akwa Ibom State happens to all of those individual election officers, from polling unit to collation centers, from the ward level up to the national level. If we have those kind of corrections in place and we make example of one or two people as the citizens of Nigeria, then we deal with weaponized poverty. We give hope to the Nigerian people, and at the end, what do we have? Voter apathy is destroyed. Massive turnout of voters will be the case in 2027, and that makes rigging impossible. That takes away Tinubu's secret weapon, and that is the only way we guarantee free and fair election and pave the way for someone like Peter Obi to be the next president of Nigeria. Law Patrol. Details are in the description. Another cure for voter apathy is weaponized to de-weaponize poverty, and that is where Well Fund also comes in. Well Fund empowers the people. It teach the people to fish program, not a give the people fish program. Well Fund. Details are in the description in case you want to find out. We'll take them strategically, step by step, so that we can educate the people and let them see that there's really hope outside of this criminality they call political strategy. We will de-weaponize their impunity, we will de-weaponize their poverty, and give Nigerians a fair shot at a free and fair elections in 2027. You have a task to play. This is the point where I tell you, or I invite you to join as a volunteer the Polling Unit Marshal Volunteer Program. The links are in the description. Polling Unit Marshal is the way we guarantee 100% election transparency. And once we're able to guarantee election transparency, what do you think follows? INEC is handicapped. It becomes difficult for INEC to rig. And once we have decapitated, not in a physical way now, once we have ensured that INEC cannot rig, every other thing falls in line, politicians now see that they are unable to rig. That is the starting point. And that is why it is crucial that we ensure election transparency using Vote Vision, the application that takes care of real-time election results transmission, collation, and display electronically, parallel to whatever we are able to get INEC to do using the electoral reforms, if we are able to get it. And if we are not able to get it, it also provides a check. So this way or that way, we must engage in this parallel election results, real-time transmission, collation, and display for Nigerians to see from the polling unit. And this application will be useless, even though we have built it, if Nigerians do not volunteer as polling unit marshal. So we are inviting you and encouraging you to volunteer. The link is in the description below. Beginning from July 1, we are going to engage in a network of polling unit marshal creation across the length and breadth of the country. Remember, there are 189,000 polling units in Nigeria. Round out off to 200,000 and multiply it by 3 gives you 600,000 polling unit marshals. Meaning we are going to have 3 polling units marshals per polling unit. And each of the polling unit marshals will not know who the next polling unit marshal is, to provide proper checks and balances. The results will be entered into the application Vote Vision or the election monitor, election guard. The result will be entered in triplicates to provide checks and balances. That way we ensure 100% election process, election results transmission in real time, transparency in real time. We can do it as a people. We must not allow INEC and the Tinubu administration to discourage us from doing this. It is very, very critical. So the links are in the description below. It is not good for us to just sit and do nothing and expect the same people responsible for the corruption in the system, for making Nigeria broke and poor as it is, we now expect them to reform themselves out of power. They won't do so willingly. And the violent revolution part is not a part that we have the resources to pursue. And even the end result of a violent revolution is not something that I am comfortable with. This is why people are not comfortable with Peter Obi, because at the end of a violent revolution, you have loss of lives and destruction of properties. If that is a last resort, I don't care, I don't mind. But when there is a better option by using our brain, I think it only behoves on us to apply that option first. And that is why we must engage in election guard, election monitor, Vote Vision, and then volunteer as polling unit marshal. Link is in the description. Let's talk, we'll go into more details subsequently with other solutions. This is a series to focus on the solutions and not keep repeating the problems. We have to do things differently, and this is one way to ensure that we do so.